it's Tim Deck. How you doing, guys?
Thank you.
It's like watching a film, but then all of a sudden we're in a film.
Roughly 5,000 metres above sea level. To give you an idea, that's about 700 metres on top of Kilimanjaro.
Race cycle is so good.
Hi guys, how are you?
Doing well.
Great.
Doing
Hi.
very well.
Cool, awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on. This is really amazing. Yeah, it's good. I'm so pleased the internet's good as well, because I wasn't sure because of Uganda, you never really know, but this is good.
Yeah.
We can have a
Jinx us. It could be bad any moment.
Yeah, we're going off our phone's
that's-
data because the Wi-Fi is not good, but hopefully we're good.
No, that's good. That's part of the fun, I suppose. That's part of the authenticity of buzzing someone in somewhere like, you know, when they're on the road and that sort of thing. I'm going to tell you what, let's kick this off. I mean, a lot of people, if they're tuning from the States and that sort of thing, will know who you are. A lot of the sort of people who follow overland motorcyclists will. Some people who don't won't. I mean, who are you guys? Give a bit of an overview if you've got one.
Back in 2017, we had we bought a KTM 1190, and we had a big dream of going around the world. We started off with small steps, and we kind of did a loop around the States about a year prior to our big launch to see if we could actually be touching each other.
If we liked each other,
yeah.
you know.
But, because, I mean, she had a job and I had a job, and I saw my fellow employees more often than I saw my fiance at the time. But so we did a little test run to make sure that we could be next to each other for that amount of time, and it all went according to plan. And so we saved up over the course of like 5 years or so, and in 2017 we quit our jobs, we sold all of our stuff, and we headed off into the great unknown to us. But yeah, so we've been on the road ever since.
Yeah, we thought we would save enough for 3 years of travel, which we did, but we thought we'd easily do the Americas in 1 year, and then up through Africa into Europe the second year, and then the third year we'd go across Asia. But it turned out that we like to go a lot slower than we originally thought. So we spent almost 2 years in the Americas, and we loved every second of it. We wouldn't change it for the world. And now we're in Africa, almost coming to the end of year 3. So we will be broke soon. But
we're going to be financially broke.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, not really, but no, it's funny you say that, because Sam Manikin, we had on earlier, and he was saying about, the almost the slower you travel, the more kind of money lasts.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. I guess that kind of helps in some ways.
Yeah, our biggest expense is gas, and so the slower you go, I mean, right now I'm getting about 30 days a gallon. So
Stop it. But I mean, I guess at least you're not spending much right now because you're stuck. You can't use your bike, I guess. So how long, what's the lockdown situation like over there? How long you been in Uganda and what's going on?
It's not so bad here. There is a lockdown going on as far as being able to ride around on a private vehicle. You can go and get groceries on the motorcycle, but no passenger, I believe.
No, there's no passenger.
And it's only up to 5 p.m. In general, the traffic has lessened about 90%.
Which is good, because Kampala, when we first got into the city, it was just, the piki-pikis are so small that they can weave in and out of everything. And then the cars, they don't care about you because you're just, in their mind, a piki-piki. And then
Piki-pikis are little motorcycles.
And I'm that thing in the middle that is not a piki-piki and not a vehicle of a car. And so I was, and I've ridden in plenty bad traffic before, but it's just the deer in the headlights. So I need to turn, and I hope I don't get hit. But yeah, so traffic is low, and
yeah, so you're allowed to walk around, go to the grocery store, the pharmacy, those things are open. Everything else is closed. It's pretty good as far as numbers of coronavirus cases. So right now there's only 75 confirmed cases. Are they testing everybody? No, I mean, they're testing as much as they can. Their resources are limited. But it's been good. There's been 0 deaths. I'm afraid it will spread. You know, that's just the nature of it. And I don't know what will happen then, but right now things are very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose that's quite interesting that you say, because I mean, I suppose now we're on the topic of sort of like coronavirus and that sort of thing. Obviously, in terms of what the World Health Organization say, you know, the sort of like center is sort of Europe and the States, and the concern is moving down to places like Africa. So Uganda is definitely on the one of the places they're really concerned about. I mean,
Yeah.
what is sort of like in terms of locals and that sort of stuff? Is there sort of any sort of like, I guess, hostility to the fact that you're tourists or anything like that, or?
So Marissa kind of hangs out on full lockdown mode.
I don't go anywhere.
No, but I do go to the store, to and fro and back, and I try to battle anybody with like a smile, like a straight, you know, just out of, you know, like, hey, how are you doing? And they go, hello, how are you? How are you? To try to cut any tension before anything even has, you know, the opportunity to rise. But 99% of the people, absolutely wonderful, absolutely fantastic. They're smiling. You know, they'll happy.
Say Mzungu Corona, which means like white person.
Yeah, every
Corona.
other blue moon. It's not even once in a blue moon. It's very, very limited. But if you
And
can,
it's lessening, right?
yeah, I mean, our overall concern is if things do spike and the economy is not well, I think everybody likes to point at other people, and in this scenario where other people, I mean, that the folk that you were interviewing in Peru kind of felt it a little bit. Some people have left. I mean, right now, I think we are even kind of, Uganda to me was a good spot because they've dealt with even like Ebola before. And so they've been taking people's temperatures and making you wash your hands well before Corona was a thing. And so
people take it very seriously here, which is good.
Which is really good.
Yeah, that is good. So if you guys are planning to sit it out, weather the storm, you're not planning on going back to States, you're gonna stay there, locked down.
Yeah, it costs us $3 a night to stay here, $4 a night.
Cool.
So the United States.
Fishy.
Yeah.
Also, traveling back would be so risky with airports and planes. It's a long distance. We'd have to leave the motorcycle, and the States is.
We're from Chicago, so Chicago on those maps is one of the big dots.
Right.
So yeah.
But I mean, we were chatting the other day, and you were saying it's not all bad there where you are. You've got the odd visitor. You've got a monkey coming by now and again.
Yeah, Thomas. We feed him every other day. He's been MIA for a monkey in action somewhere else for the last couple of days. But I bought a guitar, and you know.
It's quite nice here. It's beautiful, really nice weather, and I do love Thomas the monkey. He's a very interesting looking monkey with like white whiskers.
Yes. Looks like a British general.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, so it is a really nice.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like you're safe, which is great, and it sounds like at the moment everything's okay, and we've got the sort of lowdown on what Corona is and that sort of stuff, and that's, you know, the serious topics out of the way. Let's have a proper chat about what you've actually been up to then, and that sort of stuff. I mean, because you said you spent 2 years in the end in the Americas. That's a heck of a long time spending in the Americas. Rightly so. It's an unbelievable place. We did some. Well, we were only there for about 5-6 months, but you know the scenery is incredible. What's been your best bit?
We have different, you know, we're two people, so we have two different opinions, but Peru to me, South America as a total is at the moment my favorite continent. There's still a whole lot to explore, and so I'm not poo-pooing any other continent, but South America and Peru more specifically was just mind-blowing to me. I found, like, I read Sam's books, I read Ted's books, I was following people on Facebook long before we ever left. And when I got to some of these mountain passes in Peru, I would just put the kickstand down and just look around me and these snow-capped mountains and this little stupid trail that cut through in the middle of nowhere, and there's a billion colors, and like it was hard for me to absorb how I physically got there on a motorcycle somewhere so beautifully unique. And that to me is something that that feeling will never ever go away.
That's
So
cool.
Peru to me is my favorite.
My favorite, I loved Peru as well. We love nature. Just the nature is unbelievable. But my personal favorite was Colombia because the people were so nice and it was also very beautiful. The culture was just so vibrant. And I mean, it's hard to pick a favorite because everything is so amazing. Every place has its own good qualities. But I really loved Colombia.
And like the contrast between South America, or the Americas for that matter, and like when we hit the African continent, like besides North America and some, like there's no large predators. Like you can go wild camping anywhere in South America, you're not going to be eaten by anything. And when we're in Africa, you know, there's specific locations you have to go, but like when I saw an elephant 20 feet off of the road, or like, you know, I mean, it's that I'm from Chicago, Illinois, in the United States. Like an elephant right there was just mind blowing, you know.
And there are real dangers, lions and all
And
that.
tigers.
So you can't just camp
Bears.
anywhere. And people, it's dangerous also because, you know, safety concerns, all sorts of different types. And so South America, we felt much safer wild camping everywhere.
Yeah.
Here we have to be just a little bit more cautious.
So where have you guys been in Africa so far then? Talk to us a little bit about how you got to Uganda.
We flew the bike to Cape Town and then we went around South Africa into Lesotho. We went up to Namibia, broke our monoshock there again. Then we fixed that, went on to Botswana, up to Zambia with Victoria Falls, and then to Malawi and Tanzania, and then Rwanda and here in Uganda.
Very cool. And what's the plan after then? What was your planned route? North? Keep going north, or?
Well, right when the madness started begin, we kind of had a change of plans because Saudi Arabia had just opened up their borders for tourists, and there's Oman and there's Jordan and there's a lot of cool stuff. So we were going to follow the Nile to
Sudan. So we go up Kenya, Ethiopia, Sudan, and then ferry over.
Do a giant loop and come back pretty much to the same port that we left in and re-enter, so we can follow the romantic path of the Nile all the way up. But
up to Alexandria and then maybe take a ferry to Europe. This is all dependent on many things. First of all, the world going back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, we have enough money to do this. So,
Yeah.
But that's the dream.
just a hope.
Yeah.
Very cool, guys. Very cool.
Well, I mean, I suppose as well, as I was actually your best bits were, I mean, if you're on the road for 3 years, I mean, you've got a bit, there's like, we were saying to Steph Jevons yesterday, the drive to keep going, you know, that sort of love of it. There's got to be some hard times in there as well for you guys. And what have been sort of your toughest times? Has there been any moments where you thought, you know what, we've had enough or anything like that? Or you're just loving every minute?
Marissa was scared for me at first because I've never been out of the States, even though I've been to Canada. And so via a globe, I have been out of the United States.
He'd never had a passport.
I've never had a passport, but Canada is a different country. But anyway, so Mexico is my first passport stamp. And she didn't know how I would actually fit in, feeling in a different culture, different language, not being able to order my own food. She's fluent in Spanish, and I'm heavily dependent on her. She can't ride a motorcycle, so she's heavily dependent on me. So the thing works. But we passed a lot of the honeymoon period, we call it, of like, hey, we're on vacation. And then a year later, it's not really vacation. But I will say I did get a little poopy faced when we were in Patagonia because my motorcycle, it almost felt like we were driving from one KTM dealer to a little small mechanic shop to somebody who can order this part to you know, and but it was close to the end of that portion of the trip anyway. And so both me and my motorcycle felt that. And I did get a little frustrated there. I know a lot of people like to say, "Oh no, positive attitude and everything, rah, rah," and that is us 90% of the time. That is Marissa 100% of the time.
No, let's be honest, we're real people and we have many struggles. And there were many times when I just thought, I just want to go home, you know, but I think if you give it 24 hours, the next day you're going to be like, no, this is amazing. If that's the type of person that you are and you love to travel, then it will pass. And like you said, 90% of the time you are absolutely in love with traveling. And then there's that 10% where it's just like, oh, could anything else go wrong in this moment?
But they're the stories you tell when you get back. So we were so moany and miserable in Siberia, and that's all we talk about. So when you get back, you get to talk about all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly. You get to look at your pictures and they look amazing, but you don't realize that when you're standing there taking the picture, you're freezing, you're sick, you're hungry, you know, all those things.
And some of our worst experiences have turned into our favorite memories. Like we did a mountain pass in Peru. We were lucky enough to be with another couple called the Adventure Hacks, and it was muddy, it was cold, it was nasty, it was slimy, it was raining, and I almost wanted just to pull the bike over, pitch up the tent, buy some llamas and sheep, and live the rest of my days out there on that Peruvian hillside. But like that was an eternal struggle, and thankfully the person we were with, he was like Captain Canada, and he's like, "We can do this, and you're awesome," and rah rah. And he dropped his bike 0 times, by the way, and I was like a dead fish. But we got out of there. We drank our beer of success, but that was a very, very difficult time, emotionally, physically. But now looking back on that, and there's many, many memories like that. Like those are my favorite times, the ones that caused me to go to my breaking point, successfully pass that and grow from the experience, all while Marissa's judging me.
And for me, I struggled a lot initially, actually more than a year, with going off-road. As the Pillion, I obviously have no control. It's scary. I was terrified of these back roads and of falling. We'd fallen a couple times, well, more than a couple times, and I hated it. And I think I really hit a turning point in Peru. It was one of those real challenges that you look back on, you're like, actually, I grew from this. I ended up hurting my foot. We slid out, and I thought it was broken. Thankfully, it was not broken. I had just pulled the muscle on the bottom of my foot. But I was on crutches for a good 6 weeks. And luckily, I don't need to really do anything. I just sit there. So we had the crutches strapped onto the front of the motorcycle.
They're like Gatling guns.
And we were still able to travel.
And she's a champion because she says we slid. I slid. Her foot got caught. It was messed up. We wild camped that night with her. We were by a river, and she soaked her foot trying to get the swelling down. But we were another day's ride from getting to like a teeny tiny, what they call hospital. And she was a champion. And then we rehabbed her, or well, she, you know, I brought her food and all that goodness for a couple weeks in a row. But after 3 weeks, her foot was still messed up. But she was like, yeah, no, let's keep pushing forward. And I said, well, the next thing I wanted to do was this crazy mountain pass. And so, you know, are you up for that? And she was like, yeah, I'm on board. So she still trusted me. She still trusted my abilities. She still, you know.
Yeah, I think you have to build up that trust. And for me, it was a turning point. You know, I got injured and I realized that it's okay. Like, actually, if you are in a city and there's a lot of traffic, or you're going really fast on a highway, that can be more dangerous than going on a gravel road in the mountains. So I actually really like off-road, and I really have a lot of faith in Tim's skills. he's
pretend to be
amazing.
skillful.
Have you
But
ever?
yeah, it took me a year and a half to really get over that.
Yeah. Have you not thought about taking your test, then, Marissa? Thought about giving it a go?
We have embarrassing news to tell you.
I can't ride a bicycle.
She was an only child on a busy street.
I have thought about it, and I suppose I've actually tried to learn to ride a bicycle. I can go straight. I have problems turning. I have problems starting and stopping. So it would be an uphill battle for me. I think I could do it.
And I mean, we're on an 1190. And we're 5 what?
Yeah.
Even if I could ride a motorcycle,
She would.
I would not be able
If I
to
break
ride
an
his
ankle,
bike.
we're both stranded.
Guys, what a team though. I mean, it's super inspiring because we've got here someone who's never left the country before, has never had a passport before, someone who can't ride something with 2 wheels at all, and you two are going around the world on 2 wheels. I mean, that's just a really quite cool combination. No wonder it works.
I think. Yeah. I've got a question actually, Marissa, it's quite funny. Is there any tips from a David Lund? Any falling off tips for a Pillion passenger? I mean, plenty of experience potentially, or
Yes. So when I hurt my foot, I had my feet pointed outwards. And what had happened is the ground had hit my toe and pulled my foot backwards. So it ended up facing the opposite direction. So one thing that I've learned is to try to keep your body as close to the motorcycle as possible. And I think this is true for any rider as well. And don't have your feet sticking out like that, because if you are going to slide out, you don't have time to adjust.
Well, and that's my point. Like, luckily for us, the majority of our falls, if I see something crazy, I'm like, get off and I'll go deal with this. And she gets to GoPro me going through craziness. But usually when it is both of us, we have Senna intercoms, and I can be like, we're going over, light them up because we're going down. And she will, be able to just kind of step off. And in those situations, you're going slow enough that it's a nice easy. But like when I messed her foot up, like, I mean, that was like, we're going, we're sliding. It was no like, oh, I should better, duck in and,
It was out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Well, what I would say, guys, is we are running out of time. However, I feel it's important to mention this. As you've been on the road for 3 years, you're still going. Like you said, you are running out of money, and I'm well aware that Tim is, despite not having left the States in particular at the beginning, you are a bit of an author, aren't you, mate? So you've got a new book out quite recently. It's not in the Armchair Adventure shop, just because you guys are on the road, but it is available on Amazon, I believe. If you want to tell us a bit about it. It
is on Amazon. It's called 2 Up and Overloaded. And if you've ever seen a motorcycle, you'll understand the book title. And I wanted to call that because everybody always sees a picture of my bike. They're like, man, you're overloaded. And I was going to call the book 2 Up and Fully Loaded, but I figured if I just called it Overloaded, I can kill that conversation right off the cover page. But yeah, it is. It's available on Amazon, Kindle, and paperback. Or if you shoot me an email, I can shoot you a PDF as well. But
awesome. Yeah. Cool. Well, that was brilliant. I really enjoyed that little catch up with Tim and Marissa on the day. Guess it's kind of a bit nervy for them, kind of a bit exciting, being stuck in a different country like that. I wouldn't mind being stuck in Uganda. On that point, Reece, how are they getting on? I think you might have managed to catch up with them.
Yeah, I reached out to Tim and Marissa this week. We're going to, as we sort of promised last week, try and get them on a call at this point. Wi-Fi, busy schedules, that sort of stuff. I'm so sorry, it hasn't quite worked out. But Tim has sent me a few words. I'm more than happy to read out to everyone right now. Bear with me, let me do that. He said it as an email, so he said, hey guys, we're still here in Uganda. We are almost residents at this point. I've been working on my 3rd book of our travel so far. This one has a working title of Blood, Sweat and No Tears. That covers our time through South America, and I'm really enjoying the extra time to get my thoughts in order. Thankfully, we have plenty to keep us busy, and we have yet to succumb to cabin fever. But like everyone else, we would much rather be back out on the open road exploring. As far as updates go, I just got a root canal at a back alley dentist on a dark street on the outskirts of Kampala. So that was exciting.
You making that up?
No, honest.
Oh my God.
And I'll be spending my 38th birthday next Wednesday, June the 17th, with a dentist drill in my mouth to finalise the procedure. But we will still have a positive outlook overall. I'm very thankful that Marissa is here with me. I think that's the difference between us tapping out and waiting it out. We have each other, and that makes this a lot easier. We hope everyone out there is doing well, and soon enough we'll be all back on 2 wheels, safely exploring the world.
Jesus, that really caught me. I just didn't expect a root canal in there. Oh, blow. That's a nightmare, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Back alley root canal procedure is the last thing you want on your travels.
I think I'd have flown home if I'd had that.
Yeah, I think I might have done something.
I'm not having back alley root canal. I'm just going to go home.
But mate, what a cracking title for his third book there, Blood, Sweat and No Tears. Because that's just a really good title, I think.
Yeah. That is a good title, yeah. So
I imagine there was tears though.
Yeah, it probably would. But obviously he's got plenty of time to write it at the moment, so it probably will be a corker. So that's, but they seem all right in general, other than the root canal. So, that's good news.
That is good news from the guys. Explains why we couldn't get them on the line as well. Or it's a shame we couldn't really. So funny. Yeah. Anyway, right. So that was Notiers Frontiers. Cracking stuff. Hopefully, maybe at the next festival or a film night or something, we can buzz into them, see how they're getting on.
Yeah.
Their travels. Always fun to keep up with them on the road. Okay, so this week then, who have we got, Reese?
We're going to be bringing back Billy Ward, Billy Bike Truck. We're going to be reliving his Friday night show. I say show, it's very specific because he likes to consider it a show, which makes sense to be fair. It's about entertainment, and it is extremely entertaining. It was a cracking Friday night headlining slot. I really, really enjoyed it. Friday night at the Armchair Adventure Festival, which was a great success in general. Yeah, I think you'll enjoy this one, don't you, mate?
Yeah, I do. Watch it after the watershed, guys. There are scenes of partial nudity. Billy is Billy. So it's going to be good. It'll be a corker. Looking forward to that one. And then, yeah, that's next week. Or if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, you can obviously watch it right away now. You can become a patron. I said I'd bring some stickers. I didn't bring any stickers. But let me tell you, there's some stickers out there. I forgot them. Yeah. They stick onto things. And,
mate,
yeah, they look.
Yeah, just I don't want to change the subject here, but obviously the diehard fans will notice it. We both had haircuts. Yours more so than mine. And I can't help but notice that it looks as though you've got rid of your sideburns.
No, I haven't. It's just the light, mate. Did you get light in?
The other side more than anything looks like it's gone.
We might have done. It was Chelsea last night. We'd had a couple of drinks.
Oh, word, you've got no sideburn.
Yeah. Still, trouble's a lot down, mate, you know?
Yeah.
Can't get a proper hairdresser.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a nice Saturday daytime, so I'm going to go outside. So.
Okay, you go have some fun, and we'll catch you guys next week or right away on our Patreon page.